Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today's presentation will be on the message of the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita was a message handed down to mankind by a Messiah born in India, named as Lord Krishna, and he gave a remarkable message unto mankind. The contents of the Bhagavad Gita is wisdom knowledge. And basically it deals with how to live life and attain enlightenment. Or to put it otherwise, how to live life with wisdom, understanding, with wisdom and understanding. And in order to do so, as a Messiah, which is termed as an avatar, Hindu equivalent is avatar. An avatar is one who is an incarnate of God the Creator. So it's a pristine duty of God, when he has created this universe and placed man as a central figure in the course of events in the universe, thereafter it is his pristine duty to also give a teaching unto mankind so that man can live his life with wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. So we could say that since it is a scripture, and the remarkable thing about a scripture is that a scripture does not speak of a religion or mention anything about religious nonsense. It gives you a wisdom teaching on the fundamental principles of living life. In fact, the primary question which is in the foremost minds and hearts of everyone is to know who I am. From where did I come? And when I exit the universe, where will I go? And what will happen to me? Why did I come into this universe? And what is the purpose, or God's purpose, or God's intention in creating man and placing him in the universe as a central figure? For what purpose? There is a mystery involved in that. Of course, God wouldn't create a creation without a purpose. There is a purpose there. And all these questions and that purpose will be discerned and understood when you get only at the end of the phase, when you get enlightened to the reality of the whole issue. then it will dawn on you when you obtain this wisdom and knowledge as to why God created you and the world and placed you in it. You will smile over it. It is a jolly good game indeed, a drama of life. Now, in order to understand all these primary questions as to who I am, where did I come from, and why am I here? Why am I here? Because these are primary questions which everyone asks, though he may or may not receive the reply, or he may not go into it with care and thought about it. All these questions get resolved and answered in a scripture, and more specifically so in the Bhagavad Gita. All these aspects that I have just now mentioned to you are mentioned in some form or the other in the Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, it requires is the higher wisdom knowledge, which is necessary for mankind. In fact, there are 5 ways of living a life. You can live in the world like an animal, a human animal. You can live in the world like a man, a true man indeed. You can also live in the world like a god. Or else, you can also live your life like a fool, if you choose to do so. And then finally, you can live your life with wisdom and as a wise person. And once you live your life with this acquired wisdom knowledge and begin to live your life like a god, because you could live your life like a god. So this wisdom knowledge which is being imparted to you, specifically in the Bhagavad Gita and in all the scriptures of the world, is to enable you to live a godly life. So when man lives his life in a godly way, in due course and in due time, he would become a god indeed. So when you become a god indeed, you will realize that there is no point, no need for you to worship these gods and demigods which are being circulated in the world as forms of religious worship. That becomes irrelevant, totally beside the point. So therefore, the Bhagavad Gita is teaching you a way by which you could live like a god, a godly life, a godly focused life, so that you can become a god indeed. And when you become a god, you will exit the universe and get back to the souls from where you came. You came from God, you live in God, and finally you will end up in God indeed. You will become God and be God be in a godly state of existence. That's the purpose of life. And the living of life on planet Earth is a mechanism afforded to you, a privilege given to you, so that you can go through this process and attain that wonderful, wondrous, godly state of existence. Now, what do we mean by this godly state of existence? It simply means that, of course, the word God is something, if you ask anybody what is God, they may say many things. But one of the finest definitions for God is perfected existence. That's exactly what you want. Every one of you who is imperfect and incomplete and inadequate in himself and within himself, on realizing his God nature, becomes self-complete. And that is why God is self-complete. So when you attain to this godly state, which is said to be self-complete, completed existence, then what will you do? You will repose in the glory of your own existence. And that's exactly what God is doing. Reposing in the glory of his own divine existence. And you are part of that process indeed. This is the drama of life. So therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, all these factors are mentioned, from where you came, how you came, why you are here, and the process of living life with wisdom and knowledge are being imparted to you in the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. In 18 chapters, it is beautifully enumerated and mentioned in different ways indeed. So that if you pay complete to it, it's a book, it's a text, it's a wisdom text, which deals with the first principles of human existence, of first principles of living life. And you may also wonder, from where did I come? Where did I come? What is the reality? What is the truth? What is the truth of life? So you find that in the Bhagavad Gita, the most philosophical or metaphysical verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita is Nasato vidyate bhavo, na abhavo vidyate satah, nubayorapi drishto antah tattva darshibhihi. So there is a particular verse in the Bhagavad Gita which mentions that na asato vidyate bhavo. What is the reality? It's talking about the reality. So he says, the Lord Krishna says there, na asato vidyate bhavo. The asat, the unreal, has never ever come into existence. The unreal. And then the real has never ceased to be. The real has never ceased to be. Na abhavo vidyate satah. Na abhavo vidyate satah. The reality is that which has never ceased to be. So, the unreal has never come into existence, and the real has never ceased to be. So that means there is something which is real, and there is something which is unreal. Now, what is that which is unreal? The unreal is that which never existed in the beginning, nor will it have an existence later on. But in between, if it seems to exist, then really speaking, it does not exist in the middle too. In between, in the middle, it too does not exist. So the unreal is that which didn't exist in the beginning, nor in the end. Therefore, it does not exist in the middle too. In the middle. Then what about an appearance? An appearance is an appearance. Because prior to its appearance, it did not exist. After it has disappeared, it does not exist. Therefore, if it appears to or seems to exist in the middle, it really does not exist too. That is what the unreal is. So what is that which has got this characteristic? And it will surprise you to know that it is the universe. The universe seems to exist in the middle. So do you too. So you are part of this universe. You as an individual, you are part of this universe. And you too also seem to exist in the middle. You are not there in the beginning before creation. After the world's end is over, neither the universe nor are you there. But there is something which exists, and that is a reality. And what is that reality? That reality is the divine. It has always existed. It never ever ceases to be. It is constant. it is perfect, self-complete. Since it is perfect, it cannot increase in perfection or lose its, or decrease or lose its perfection. Therefore, it's constant. It is as it has always been. As it is ever fresh indeed. And that is the divine, that is the godly state of existence, which each one will eventually attain. When he reaches a state of enlightenment, of moksha, which is called as moksha, which is termed as nirvana, and that is exactly what a person experiences. His perfected state of existence, which is the reality. Then, if that be the case, what about this creation? Of course, the Bhagavad Gita says in another verse, the subsequent verse itself, it mentions, Avinashitu tat viddhi yena sarvamidam tatam. Avinashi tu tat viddhi. May you understand that by which this entire universe is pervaded and permeated, that principle by which the entire universe of the cosmos is permeated and pervaded, is said to be indestructible, Avinashi. So, therefore, that is the warp and woof of this universe. If not for that principle, this universe would not be. It is on that this universe appears to exist or has its existence. So the divine is as vast as the universe. That is why the word Brahman has been used for the divine. Brahman means, the word Brahman is used in the Bhagavad Gita, because at the end of the second chapter it mentions, when a man attains enlightenment, he attains a state of Brahma Richati, Brahma Nirvanam Richati. He attains a state of Brahman, Brahma Nirvanam. It has been clubbed together, the two words. And the two words Brahman and Nirvanam has been conjointly used there. So there, in the positive sense, Brahman has been used, and the negative sense, Nirvanam has been used. And in the positive sense, when the third Brahman, what it means is that the meaning of the word Brahman is a particular word used to, in Sanskrit, used to convey the meaning and the sense of the divine. So it mentions that Brihatvat Brahmanatvat Brahma iti. Brihatvat, that which is vast. Brahman is that which is vast indeed. Brihatvat. And at the same time, so it is as vast as the universe. You know that the universe is expanding into infinity. And that infinity into which it expands, this universe, from the time of its origin, it arose, it had its origin with a big bang. And then with the big bang, it goes on and on expanding into infinite nothingness. And wherever it expands, it can only expand into that dimension wherein God's beingness of existence is. So it is as vast as the universe. So Brihatvat, that's why the meaning of the word Brihat, it is vast. And Bringanatvat means it is the basis, the support, the substratum of the entire universe. It's the basis, just as much as a 6-foot stick in twilight is the basis for the appearance of the rope on it, of the snake on it. So a 6-foot snake, rope, is the basis for the appearance of a snake in twilight. So it is as vast as the length of the stick. So similarly, also as part of the universe, which is a glorious appearance. It's a beautiful appearance. And you are enthralled by this universe. You know that what a glorious universe it is. So if the glorious which has appeared in front of you is so glorious, then what to speak of the glory of the divine? the divine must be even more glorious, because that is the basis out of which this glorious, remarkable universe has transpired. So therefore, Brihatvat, Bringanatvat means support of this entire universe. So since the universe, since the divine is the basis and the support of this entire universe, and this is so beautifully mentioned in the next verse immediately after the metaphysical verse of the Bhagavad Gita, wherein it mentions that Avinashitu Tad Viddhiki, may you understand that divine is indestructible, by which Yena Sarvamidam Tatam, by which this entire universe is being pervaded and permeated. That's the divine. That's the nature of the divine indeed. So then what a remarkable universe that God has created for your benefit. For your benefit. And why did He create this universe for your benefit? The sole purpose of your life is to live in the world and acquire maturity. Once you mature, you've got to mature in this world. So maturity, mental maturity. Mentally you have to become strong, mentally firm, not with a feeble mind, but with a strong mind. And then you've got to be emotionally strong, So when you are mentally strong, emotionally strong, then you are psychologically strong. And when you are psychologically strong, then you are spiritually strong. And so the purpose of living life is to become strong indeed, to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually strong, so that you become strong in order to depart from this universe. So living life is an experience to strengthen yourself. That's why it is often said that you require experience to acquire wisdom in during course of your life, because you are floundering in this universe, not knowing who you are and how you are to live your life, and where are you going? What is the purpose of living life? This is the purpose of living life. The purpose of living life, the final purpose or the primary purpose of living life, for which purpose God has brought you into this universe, is to go through this process, acquire maturity, and thereafter have the ability to discard the universe with which you got fascinated, like a little boy. When they are given little toys, they are so fascinated with the world around them. But it takes a little maturity for the boys to outgrow their toys. So also you have to know, in due course of time, through experience, you have got to become mature. And once you get matured, you will throw away the glamour of this universe. Then at that time, what happens to you is dispassion dawns. And when dispassion dawns, you will have the necessary, requisite, basic capacity to proceed further into a contemplative, meditative life. And then finally, at that end process, you will have that ability you will acquire that ability to acquire and know your divine nature. So therefore, you require this wisdom to live a godly life, so that you can become a walking God. And that's the basic purpose. So God created man so that he can become a God in turn. That's why you are living in this world. So therefore, this privilege, this august privilege, has been granted to you by God himself for the benefit of mankind. So thus, having said this, then God himself says, I have revealed two ways of living for mortal man. Two ways of living a good life, a godly life. Two good ways of living. A spiritually oriented godly life, wherein you no more live like a human animal, but you are living your life, a disciplined life, as a man, as a true man indeed, wherein you become noble, righteous, and good. So when you become noble, righteous, good, and correct in all what you are, then you are truly a man indeed. Until then, you live like an animal, acquiring and grabbing from everywhere like an animal. An animal grabs. You notice that all animals grab. When you go to the jungles, you will see each animal grabbing from every other animal. You don't want to live your life like a human animal grabbing from everybody else. That's not the purpose of life. In fact, as you keep on maturing, instead of grabbing, you begin to give. So when you begin to give and give and give to the heart's content, then at that time your heart expands and grows, and it encompasses the whole of creation. The whole of creation should be encompassed in your heart indeed. Your heart should mature and grow. So it's not the mind. We have given the training to the mind indeed. Mind is only an operational tool to function in the world intelligently and sensibly, while it is a heart which leads you to God. So therefore, you've got to open your heart with all love indeed, and with love you must learn to function in the universe. So therefore, the purpose of this life is that to live your life lovingly live your life, lovingly perform your actions, your functions, lovingly execute your responsibilities, and lovingly arrive at your God nature. So love is the center of life indeed, the center of existence. This is love. If you have love, you have got everything. If you do not have love, you have nothing indeed. So love is that which makes you rich. When you are rich in love, you have everything. You have everything. When you are rich in love, you share everything. So therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, in the 3rd chapter, verse number 3, he says that, Asmin loke dvita nishta pura prokta mayanaga jnana yogena sankhyanam karma yogena yogina. So there in the 3rd chapter, he very emphatically declares to mankind that I have revealed 2 ways of living for man. One is 2 ways, only 2 ways. One is jnana yogena sankhyanam. So jnana meva yoga. So knowledge, you require wisdom, knowledge. It's an exclusive knowledge discipline. It's an exclusive contemplative life. Exclusive. Meant for a small section of humanity who have matured in life, and thereby, on account of their maturity, they become hermits, competent monks and competent nuns, not immature nuns and immature monks, but matured monks, mature nuns, and hermits. And you become automatically and naturally a hermit indeed, living a quiet contemplative life with wisdom knowledge. So that wisdom knowledge involves a contemplative meditative life wherein your passions have cooled down and you are maintaining the awareness of your God nature and living a peaceful, quiet, contemplative life. And that is meant for a small section of humanity. And this is one way of living life. This is the life of a hermit monk. Then the other way of living life, karma yogena yoginam. So jnana yogena sankhyanam. That is one wisdom knowledge for the hermits, exclusive knowledge discipline. The other is the exclusive, is a life led with karma yoga, karma yogena yogina. So every person, every householder who has got a family, is living with a family and living an active life in the world as an honorable person, discharging his duties and functions in a correct, noble, righteous manner, loving manner indeed. Such a person should live his life, perform his actions as a karma yoga. As a karma yoga. Karma yoga means yoga, yoga of action. So action bindeth and puts man into human bondage. But when the same action is done with wisdom, acquired wisdom, wisdom which has been acquired via the scriptures, and this scripture, this knowledge has been very emphatically and specifically mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. The science of karma yoga has been beautifully unfolded in section after section by Lord Krishna in the Gita. And this karma yoga is, when you live your life as a karma yogin, then every householder too will become a yogi. Yogi or a yogini. If you are a man, you are a yogi. If you are a woman, you are a yogini, a karma yogini. So social service is social service, and ignorant performance of action is not karma yoga. Karma yoga is a very sublime science, whereby this action, which normally would have put you into human bondage, the very same action itself now becomes a process by which it will lead you to liberation and enlightenment. So when actions are done as a karma yoga, as a yoga of action, then it purifies you, ennobles you, and leads you to salvation. So therefore, for those people living an active, good, normal life in the world with their family members and doing a job in the world, an honorable job indeed, not all jobs are honorable, an honorable job indeed. So in an honorable job, you do not exploit a fellow human being. You are of service to mankind around you. You do not exploit mankind around you. Because any profession or any job which exploits fellow human beings is not a healthy, good job. It's because exploitation has come into the scene. So therefore, you have come here not to exploit. A karma yogin and a good man will not exploit anybody. So therefore, these actions, when they are done in an honorable way, in a noble manner indeed, correctly, for whose satisfaction? For your satisfaction and for the satisfaction of God. Because God has assigned to every man a quota of actions to be done in this life. There are other the reason why God has given different forms of actions to different people is that these people acquire these actions in their previous lives itself, in their previous lives. Now you may wonder whether, because very often, especially in the Western world, people very much wonder whether there is a life before birth and will there be a life after death. That's a wonder indeed. But the Gita very emphatically mentions and declares, very clearly and emphatically declares the theory of reincarnation of the souls. Theory of reincarnation. So in the theory of reincarnation, and the example given is, the beautiful example is given about reincarnation, the science, the theory of reincarnation. Just as much as when you live in this life, when you are living this life itself, when your clothes have become worn and old, you discard your worn out old clothes and acquire new clothes. So also, when this particular physical body of yours has served its purpose for whatever number of years it is destined to be, then you leave this body, your soul leaves this body, and then acquires another body indeed, another lifetime. Similarly also, when you came into this world, there was a reason which brought you into this world. Your past karmas brought you into this world. as per the way of life that you had lived before and what you had done before. Accordingly, the good Lord out of it takes a certain quota or a portion for you to experience your life in this life, and therefore you have been given a specific form of way of living, and with specific karmas to be performed in this life, specific karmas too. So nobody is given an arbitrary karma. There were reasons why a particular karma has come to you in this lifetime, and the good Lord has allocated these karmas to you, and therefore this is called your destiny for this lifetime. For this lifetime, your destiny may be for 10 days, 10 months, 10 years to 100 years, whatever the destiny is, that is your destiny indeed for this life. And during this time, you've got to perform certain actions. And these actions which have come your way are said to be your karmas. Every day, not only the actions, but the life experiences that you are going to have in this life have also been predetermined for you. So whatever actions and life experiences which you are going to have, it's like a book. Every day as you wake up, that day's events will be turned over. What you are supposed to do for the day indeed. The experiences that you are going to have for the day will be all rolled out as you wake up in the morning. The book of your life, you may call it the book of your life. It's a wonderful thing that you don't know what it is. That makes your living more joyous. Because otherwise, if you knew all what you are what's going to happen to you and what you are going to experience in this for every day before it has taken place, life would be rather boring. So it's a good thing that you don't know about it. So it's a pleasant thing to know the uncertainty of life as it comes along, as it rolls by. So the destiny of your life gets opened out every day. And all that you have to do is just take it. This is what has been granted to you for the day, and execute all your actions in a loving manner. In a loving manner, learn to live your life and learn to perform your actions. Just do it. Just do it. There is no other reason. Just do it. Because you're supposed to do it, just do it. With that, the matter is over. If you can do your actions in this manner, this is the final end secret of performing action as karma yoga. Without being attached to those actions, without going through an anxiety through those actions, in a very placid, calm, sensible manner, you execute all your actions. So by this process, action which would have normally bound you in the world has now been converted by you through your wisdom and through your good sense into a science of karma yoga. In karma yoga, there are 5 features involved in this. One is that you should not be attached to the end result of action. Just do it. Because it has been assigned to you, just do it. And whatever the end result is, you just pocket it. Whatever it comes, let it come. It's not in your hands. That is why in the life, sometimes you get better than what you expected to get. Sometimes you don't get even that. So be it, doesn't matter. So do not be attached to the end results of actions. Do not be even attached to actions, because the question of when you are attached to actions, you are attached to life. You are attached to this world. I like to do this, I don't like to do this. No, that's not the criterion. You do it because you are supposed to do it. Therefore, just take it and do it. To the best of your ability, lovingly. The matter is over. The matter is over. So therefore, all actions are to be done in this manner without being attached to the very action itself. The second point. The third point is just to do the action, perform these actions as an instrument. It's not that I have done it, but action has been done. The action, so the importance is for the action, and just do it. The action has been taken care of. The baby has been taken care of. The trouble arises when you begin to feel that it's my baby. That's why you get attached and you get caught. And the baby kicks and you get all the kicks in life thereafter. Just you have been entrusted with a baby, bring it up to its manhood and then release the baby, release the child. So without being attached. So therefore, without being attached to the actions. And then the fourth factor is, very important factor, the fourth factor. In the performance, in the execution of action as karma yoga. The fourth factor is samatvam yoga uchyate. Perform your actions with a calm mind, with a mental state of equipoise, with a balanced frame of mind. So whatever actions you do it peacefully. Do not do any actions in a hurry. Do not do any actions with anxiety. Do not do any actions with fear. But just do it peacefully and calmly. So by this process, you are calmly doing your actions. Series of actions constitute the living of life, and thereby you are living your life peacefully. Peacefully experience also the things of life which come your way. So by this process, an equanimous, placid state of mind is being maintained by you. Why is it that you have to maintain this placid, peaceful frame of mind? Because during this time, when you are so maintaining this placid, calm and peaceful state of mind, your mind has got in unison or got in tune with the divine, That is why Lord Krishna, in his ingenious, simple manner, has used the word, expression, samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam, the state of mental equipoise or equilibrium, is said to be the state of yoga. And what is yoga? Yoga is not the acrobatic science of twisting your legs up and down, upside down and up and down, twisting your arms and legs. That is not yoga at all. Yoga is a spiritual mind science wherein your mind is in tune with the divine. So when your mind is in tune with the divine, it is automatically is in synchronicity with it. And therefore, when it has now become one with the divine, with the mind, so it has become synchronized with the mind, with the divine. So you're functioning in synchronicity with the divine, and not only that, the fifth factor is you have to become aware. So while being synchronized in God, you have now got yourself synchronized. And having got synchronized in God with a placid, calm state of mind, a state of mental equilibrium, when your mind is peacefully in a state of equilibrium, your mind has now become infinite in nature. It has, because it is placid and calm indeed, like the placid waters of a vast lake. So also your mind, the lake of your mind has become calm and placid, and therefore it is in tune with the divinity in existence. And then one more thing which is needed is that you have to become aware, awareness. Generally speaking, aware of the divine, aware of the divine. That's what you should do, because otherwise your awareness would be of the world. So you don't want world awareness, you want God awareness. So to maintain this divine awareness, just be aware of the divine, of the unseen, unknown divine. How to be so aware of the divine? How to be aware of the divine? So perceive and be aware of the divine. And once again, the ingenious wisdom of Lord Krishna comes into the scene. I'm amazed. I'm truly amazed at the wisdom teachings given by Lord Krishna at various sections of the Bhagavad Gita. They are pearls of wisdom. How he has brought out wisdom truths, remarkable truths indeed. Just as much as Jesus gave the same truths in a different manner in the 4 Gospels. They are remarkable, but humanity has not opened it out, unfortunately. So here too also Lord Krishna's wonderful teaching is so remarkably mentioned, and Lord Krishna says this. At one section he says, he uses 3 words. So when you are aware of the divine, you are in contemplation of the divine. Another word for contemplation is meditation. You are in a meditative state. So you are in a meditative state while performing your actions in the world. So while performing actions in the world, you are in a meditative state. And therefore, Krishna says, karma yogena yoginam. Therefore, he uses the word, you are a yogi indeed. Self-control, self-discipline. In all your ways of living and functioning, you are self-disciplined, and therefore you are a yogi. So you don't have to be a yogi in order to run away into the jungles and forest and hermitages to be a yogi. You can be a yogi even while living at home itself. Even by living at home itself, you can be a yogi. One of my sisters is named by the name Yogi. She is truly a yogi indeed. Anyhow, so the world. So now Lord Krishna is telling you in 3 words the science and the secret of meditation, to be in a contemplative state. He says, what is meditation? How to meditate? All of you are interested to know how to meditate. You have heard of the word meditation, would like to meditate, but you're wondering what it is all about. And Lord Krishna so beautifully says this. He uses 3 words to express the truth behind meditation. Avyaktoyam, achintyoyam, avikaryoyam, uchyate. So the divine is that. Now you're going to meditate on the divine, the divinity in existence, which is your divine nature. Remember that is your divine nature, the divinity in existence. So he says that is avyaktoyam. So avyaktoyam means it cannot be made manifest by any one of your ways of knowing. By any one of your ways of knowing. With your eyes you can see and know something. With your ears you can hear and know something. With your mind you can know something. You can see something, and then your mind tells you that it is a tree or the sky, the blue sky. So you know that it is so, or a cloudy sky. Your mind, so through your mind you know things. You can know things. The intellect confirms it. Yes, it is a sky indeed. It is a clear sky with no clouds. It's a vast sky. So these are the ways by which you come to know. So avyakta means avyaktoyam. That is not no. It cannot be known by any one other knowing process. That's what the divine is. None of your sensory inputs, and along with the mind and the intellect, can know what the mind is. Can know what the divine is. Can know what, so it does not know what the divine is. You can't conceive as to what it is, because you don't know what it is. You wonder what it is. So then how to be aware of that which cannot be perceived or conceived by you? So avyaktoyam. And therefore it is achintyoyam. Achintya means it cannot be thought of. You cannot even think about it. So when you cannot think about it, your thinking mind must stop. Since you can't think of the divine, of God, your thinking mind must stop. Stop immediately. Stop thinking. Don't think. So achintyoyam and avikaryoyam. Having stopped thinking, do one thing more. Don't allow the mind to modify itself into ripples of thoughts. Don't allow your mind to be carried away with ripples, with feelings and emotions, thought patterns and ideas. So the divine is that which cannot be conceived by you. This is inconceivable. Achintyam. It cannot be conceived by any one of the knowing process. So there in these three words itself, Lord Krishna is telling you the secret of how to meditate. How to meditate. Since it is the knowing process, avyakta means the knowing process of knowledge cannot make it known to you. Therefore, stop that. Stop thinking. Achintyoyam. Don't think about it. Actively with your mind. Actively with your mind. And then, having stilled the mind, that's why still, be still and know that I am God. Be still and be aware that I am God. Be mentally still. That's why it said, be mentally still and be aware that I am God. So, therefore, when you are just aware, maintain that awareness. And by this process, avikaryoyam, your mind, don't allow your mind to break out into ripples of thought. No more thoughts and ripples are there. So now he has given us in an ingenious manner as to how to meditate. As to how to meditate. That science, that secret has been revealed to you by Lord Krishna. Avyaktoyam, achintyoyam, avikaryoyam uchate. So by mentioning this as a character of the divine, he is also telling you how to meditate on the divine. So having understood this, so therefore we said that how to meditate we mentioned. Now the next question which arises is where to meditate? Where to meditate? The most secretive and elusive verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita is also mentioned in the second chapter. I believe it's verse number 69. As to where to meditate. Where to meditate. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam yasyam jagrati bhutan. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam. Wait a minute. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. This is the most secretive verse in the entire Bhagavad Gita. Ya nisha sarva bhutana. That which is darkness to all the beings. Ya nisha sarva bhutana. Tasyam jagarti samyami. The wise man is awake there. Ya Nisha Sarvabhuta, that which is darkness to the ignorant, to all the people. Ya Nisha. In that darkness, Tasyam Jagarati Samyami. Samyami means the wise person. He is wide awake there. Wide awake where? In which is darkness to all the beings. What is that which is darkness to all the beings? Of course, when you close your eyes, what happens? You're cut off the world. In that is a darkness in which there is nothing. You have entered that plane of nothingness. In that plane of nothingness, the wise become wide awake. Awake to what? Nothing in particular. In that state, all that you do is you're wide awake. Wide awake where? At the entrance. At the entrance to your divine state. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani, in which all the people are awake. All the people are awake in the world, to the physical world. People, normal people in the world are awake to the physical world around them. They are wide awake. So when people are wide awake to the physical world, they are worldly people, fully wide awake, seeing the panorama of life and enjoying it. So, Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani, Sa Nisha Pashyato Mune. For the wise person, in that Pashyate Mune, for that wise person, it's all darkness indeed. It's all darkness. So he has become dead to the world, dead to the phenomena of the world, and he has become alive to the inner realms. And in the beginning, he has for him to be alive, he has arrived at the mystical darkness. The mystical darkness, mind you, he has arrived at a plateau. That is why it is mentioned in the Bible. Or Jesus himself mentions this truth. So Jesus is reinforcing this truth when he says that very few find the gate. Very few find the gate. The gateway which leads to deliverance. Narrow is the path, and very few find it. John Bunyan's Pilgrim's Progress, in a remarkable manner, makes mention of this, and it should be read by one and all. Then, having said this much, the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is a very intriguing chapter, wherein how to overcome creation. Of course, you want to overcome creation. And having overcome creation, you want to abide in the good Lord. You want to abide in the good Lord. And therefore it's mentioned, the 19th verse of the 5th chapter is beautifully mentioned. Thair jito sargo yesha samye stitam manah nirdosham samam brahma tasmad brahmani te stitah. Thair jito sargo yesha. Those people have overcome creation. Who has overcome creation? Of course, this world is a creation. Samye sitam manaha. When your mind is in a state of samya avastha, that means to say, in a state of mental equilibrium, equipoise, samya avastitam manaha. So it is calm and placid. Samya sitam manaha. So when your mind is calm and serene and steady, it has overcome creation. Creation is constantly taking place in your own mind. Never ever forget this truth. Not only is there an outside creation, but there is a constant creation taking place in the minds of every person. So therefore, stop creating things in your own mind. Become calm and quiet. Become calm and quiet. Let your mind, which is bubbling with thoughts, become calm and still without any bubbles and ripples. So when it happens at that time, what has happened to you? You have overcome creation. This is the creation. So you are constantly creating. Why the dickens do you not keep quiet? Why don't you keep quiet instead of constantly creating? So therefore he says, he whose mind samya sitam manaha, he who is able to maintain the state of mental equipoise, has overcome creation, has overcome creation. And then he says, nirdosham samam brahma. And Brahman, the divine, is that which is free of defects. Free of defects. There is nothing wrong anywhere in the whole universe. Everything is okay in its own way. Just leave the world alone. Nirdosham samam brahma. Don't get upset by anything which happens in the world. Don't get upset by that. Let things go their own way. Just observe like a silent spectator. Observe the phenomena of life going around you in a calm, placid manner. Nirdosham samam Brahman, because samam, the state of mental equipoise, is Brahman. So when you are mentally calm and serene and steady, you are established in Brahman. That is why he says, tasmat, therefore, when your mind is in a calm state, Brahmani te stitaha, then those people are abiding in Brahman indeed. Now the truth of this matter which has been mentioned here, which is so beautifully, ingeniously mentioned by Lord Krishna in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and I am brought out a book on this called The Divine Wisdom. The Divine Wisdom, which will be out to the world at large within a month's time. It's already almost on the point of being printed. So it's called The Divine Wisdom, that book. So in which I outline all these factors so that you can repose and abide in your divine nature. There's nothing very complicated about it. It is so simple and straightforward to arrive at your godly nature. So therefore, Lord Krishna says, kindly listen to all what I have told you. All what I have told you, he says at the end of the chapter, end of the Bhagavad Gita. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papepyo mokshaishyami ma suchaha. So he says, sarva dharman. So all the nonsense that you have heard, religious nonsense that you have heard, sarva dharman parityajya. Leave all that nonsense alone. Mam ekam sharanam. Whatever I have told you in these teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, listen to it carefully and live by it. By that all your errors and sins and wrongs will be cleared out of your system. And don't grieve, my child. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. Masucha, do not be despondent. Huh? The good Lord is there always with you. Remember this, the good Lord, God is always with you. Wherever you go, wherever you are, God is ever with you indeed. There was never a time when he did not leave you. All that you have to do is turn around and look at him, watch him, be aware of, become aware of him. And when you become aware of him and turn around and look at him and be aware of him, he also lovingly responds to you, and the grace of God will come to you indeed. Om Tat Sat.